Next up, ladies and gentlemen, the board has this year also expanded the remit of NLIS Limited and appointed a full-time CEO in the name of Dr. Jane Weatherley to manage the transition to a new company with responsibility for streamlining the management of Australia's traceability and quality assurance programs. As well as that, the very important function of the new Integrity and Information Systems Company will incorporate the management of big data through any potential value chain digital strategy. Please welcome Dr. Jane Weatherley.
So I am standing up. So welcome everybody, it's really lovely to see you all here today. So I'm here to present to you on the power of our information and the evolution of our integrity systems. So what I'm going to do is there's three parts to my presentation. I'll start by just reminding ourselves of just why Australia prides ourselves on our integrity systems. I'll then move to take us forward in terms of what we might do with those integrity systems to make sure that we stay ahead of the game. And then finally, I'll give you an idea of some of the initiatives that we have got going now to keep us ahead of the game. So I guess the question is, why do we pride ourselves on our integrity systems? And a really great place to start is the story that many of you have probably heard before, is what happened in 2003 around Christmas time, where there was the first case of mad cow that was found in Washington State in the United States. So it was found in a Holstein cow from a Canadian property, and as soon as it was detected in Korea and Japan, both immediately banned US imports of beef. So in Japan, Australia was able to capitalise on America's loss and gained America's share. So we went from having around 50% of the overall quota to up to 90% overall. So you'll see that in the graph there in the green, that's Australia's share. And also in Korea, we were also able to really capitalise on that opportunity. So our market share went from around 20% and increased to almost 80%. So the impact for the US was absolutely devastating and lasted for over 5 years. Their export sales fell from a value of around $3.8 billion to around $1.4 billion in just 3 years since when the ban was implemented. So it wasn't until about 2008 that the US gained entry back into Korea. But this re-entry was met with considerable backlash from the Korean population. So while it was highly staggered process for America to re-enter the country, this was really met by thousands and thousands of protesters who came in with their anti-demonstration protests about the reversal of the ban. The Korean government was accused of lifting the ban in far too much haste, giving the US unwarranted concessions so that Korea would get favourable reception in the free trade agreement negotiations that were going on at the time. Now, the demonstrators argued that the president had really lost his sense of duty of care for his people by ignoring their concerns about mad cow disease in their beef. So I guess the end of that was the US have actually regained access and back in business in those countries. However, they have not restored the level of imports that they would like and that they used to enjoy. So I guess the events like the mad cow outbreak in the US is a really good example of how Australia has the ability to really capture the opportunity, and a really great example of the value of our integrity systems. Value's also been measured just recently in our recent 5-year review and the evaluation results. So our integrity program, which is National Livestock Identification System, Livestock Production Assurance, and also our vendor declarations, covers all our activities relating to traceability. Traceability and on-farm farm safety, and also the farm safety research programs. Most recently, the independent evaluation, which assessed the current and future benefits of our livestock traceability and disease status free, was valued at $355 million to industry. And that really reflects the importance of our key markets that we trade into, which is the United States, Korea, and also Japan. So the benefit of our clean and safe and natural image is also valued, and that put an additional $107 million on making the total value of these integrity systems of around $462 million to industry. And that came back with a $56 million investment from ours of a return of around 8.3 to 1. But I guess it's really important that we don't become complacent around it all, which certainly we're not. People do want to know more about the products they're purchasing, and Frank Carbone last night really outlined great examples of that. So as our supply chains have become more complex, foodborne illness outbreaks are occurring probably a little bit more frequently around the world. Many food companies are really moving towards improved traceability and wanting the ability to rapidly track product from farm, right from the farm gate, right through to the consumer. More and more in markets like China, there is an expectation of consumers to really link that, be able to access that information using the QR codes or the quick response codes that we see everywhere now to really get to know their farmer and get to know their food. So moving towards other systems that are being implemented, other red meat producing companies are catching up to us in terms of their integrity systems. So Australia has indeed led the way in our robust integrity systems. However, many of our country's competitors are ramping up their systems too, which potentially diminishes our point of difference in some of the markets. So Uruguay is a great example, who have just initiated their own Never Ever program, and that's their certified beef program that they're putting into the US. This is their protocol and their guarantee that beef ends up on the American market, their beef that ends up on the American market with this label on it has never received antibiotics, has never received hormones, and it hasn't received proteins of animal origin. Another example that many people have probably heard of, it's been around for a while now, is the Red Tractor program. And this is now the largest program in the UK that sets the farm and food standards overall for animal welfare, for food safety, for traceability and environmental protection. So the Red Tractor label signifies and has broad scale awareness right around the world that to customers it really does signify that that food has come from a trustworthy source. So we do need to really be on our game. We need to be seeking new opportunities. So I guess what we need to do is really start to think about how can we start to capitalise on the great integrity systems that we have and take them to a new level. So let's just have a think about that and really understand that, I guess, potentially the answers lie within the data and the infrastructure that we have already. The starting point is for us to really start to map out the key problems that we have and we're going to have in 5, 10, 15 years and beyond, and then start building the solutions and start building them quickly. So we have a number of problems, many of you be aware of it. Paperwork is our immediate challenge. Is there agreement in the crowd here that that is a bloody issue? Yes, yes, yes. So indeed, this has been recognised for quite a long time, and we are actually moving towards looking at how to address that. And certainly the work that we're doing in developing up the ENVD is one where we will have a fully electronic system that's available, so your vendor decks will be available on commercial apps. So there's a number of commercial solution providers now working on those and soon to release those for industry. This system is going to really improve the industry integrity traceability systems, how our vendor decks work, and also really tracing our animal movements more accurately. It has the potential to link with other programs such as MSA, our PCAS program, health statements, and also RFID technologies. And interestingly, this system has been estimated to likely save industry around $5.8 million a year. But to those who actually do like the paper system, and there are some, we certainly won't be getting rid of those in the near future. I guess the other problem, which is quite significant for our producers, is that there's a hell of a lot of information that's been thrown at you at any one time. So different things like MSA feedback data, we've got livestock data link, we've got market information, you've even got weather reports, and it's all coming in from different mechanisms at different time. The list goes on. So where are we going to start with it all? Well, it all absolutely starts now in terms of really getting our act together and to start consolidating our integrity and information systems. The first step was really addressed in the recommendations from the Safe Meat Initiatives Review, which was released last year, which stated that all of our integrity systems needed to be put into and managed in one company. So that's obviously happened, as Jeff introduced. So we've formulated the Industry Integrity Systems and Information Systems Company, which has commenced operation, and we've got NLAS is already sitting there, but we're also transferring LPA as we speak. Now, given the industry really needs to stay ahead of the game, the company was also given the remit to really take on the industry value chain digital strategy. To kick this off, we commenced through an industry forum in Brisbane about a month ago, where we had 300 industry delegates from Australia who were there to listen to global and Australian, international or global and Australian experts in the field of digital ag about what some of the opportunities are. We also had a workshop after the day after, where we had around 90 participants, mainly producers in there, who also started to scope out what industry problems are and what we might seek to find in digital solutions. So ultimately, the company will be driving the digital strategy overall. And as I said, at the forum, we had quite a number of really interesting speakers who presented the opportunities for a digital strategy. So let's just have a listen to some of the things that they had to say about that.
Australia is a world leader in dryland grazing, and I can't see why there's any reason that Australia couldn't also be a world leader in dryland grazing technology.
There is no reason we can't be a world leader in ag tech, but we're not at the top of the podium at the moment.
Who owns data? How do we share it? How do we leverage it and get more value out of it?
So you make a decision to send an animal to the feedlot or not. You make a decision to send the animal this week to processing or not. They're the decision points, is actually where the data systems don't intersect today, so we need a solution to that.
Whether it's through your paddock sensors, whether it's through new technology with cattle, whether it's through your new water and other infrastructure technology, knowing the value of your operation at every moment and accessing that.
So M&A's role is to connect what we have and then build on that and allow the industry and stakeholders and entrepreneurs and anyone else that can build apps to give a value proposition back to industry.
In the future, what will happen is you'll decide how you want to eat. You'll put that into all of your devices, probably controlled by your smartphone, controlling your connected kitchen, your connected home, your fridge, your smartphone, your smart toilet.
And this is near future. This is not a million miles away. This is right now.
The customer is still the king, and everything we do has got to add value to the customer.
There are lots and lots of technologies coming out in the marketplace at the moment, lots and lots of demand coming from China and so forth, and the world is moving at a fast pace.
You don't try and select the right problem to solve. You start solving 2 problems at a time, work on them, deliver on them, select the next 2, and that's how you build momentum.
The first thing we should do as an industry, as the red meat industry in Australia, is embrace new technology. We've got to be at the forefront of this, because everybody else will be. Because otherwise, new proteins, new technology will take over our position on dinner plates around the country.
In the digital world, expect surprises. There will be a surprise, there'll be another surprise. So your strategy has to move forward. You have to do things, but you have to expect to be surprised and respond to that.
But if we really want to move ahead and make a difference and keep ahead of the rest of the world, now is the time to be acting.
Now is the time. So apart from the opportunity of a smart digital toilet, I think that there's quite a number of great messages out of that for us. So in terms of recognising we absolutely are world leaders in our farming systems. The technology is everywhere at the moment, it's coming at us everywhere. But we need to start to look at how we can embrace it. We need to start connecting what we already have. That's a huge opportunity for us. And we're not, we're not really there yet in terms of really understanding what digital ag can do for us, but absolutely now is the time. So I guess digital ag, for me and probably for a number of people, is a bit of a mystery. We don't know what to expect. It will be disruptive, absolutely, and will change how we operate as an industry. But as an industry, we actually do have a good history of really implementing really innovative, disruptive systems, and NLIS is just one of those examples. And it was probably, had a lot of teething problems and was hard in the outset to really get it off the ground, but overall what a gem it's turned out to be for our industry, really securing a lot of those valuable global markets and some of the premiums. But we need to get cracking and do something. We can't just keep talking about it. So where we've begun. What we're doing is there's 3 projects that have been on the go for some time now. It's all about services that are going to improve our producer access to a lot of the information and ultimately try to help to make your life easier. These are the single sign-on project, the MyMLA project, and also the upgraded prices and market information. So let's just have a look at those. Single sign-on. What a great idea. In terms of, so when you want to access your industry systems now, you're not going to need multiple logins or usernames, multiple passwords where you have to have the list that's on the wall and you're not sure which one it is. You're only going to need one, which is absolutely just fantastic. So that's all about to happen, probably early in the new year. But that's really been developed in response from a lot of strong feedback that we've had from our producers. In terms of MyMLA, now this is a bit of a more customised component of the current MLA website. It offers the relevant information that's based on your user location and your enterprise. So it's delivered through your own personal dashboard, which the user can customise to your own preferences. And it also offers a much more unique and individualised experience for producers when you want to actually find information. It's hopefully going to be there more readily. Finally, prices and market report. There's been some great work done helping to upgrade those information systems. It's a much more interactive market information analysis service that you can now access. You can access through the MyMLA dashboard or also through the prices and market section of the MLA website. Certainly aim to be much more user-friendly, designed to help our producers to make much more informed decisions, but most importantly it's also accessible from a multitude of devices that you have available, so your smartphone, tablets, and which means you can actually locate it anywhere, anytime. So the great news is, very exciting, that you'll get an opportunity to see these actually in action this afternoon. There'll be a demonstration immediately after the forum at the afternoon tea break. So if you come downstairs and join me and Matt Peacock, who'll give the demonstration, you can actually get a sneak preview of what they really look like and how exciting they are. So that's pretty much me. In terms of where we've landed, we certainly have a great industry that is a world leader in our integrity systems. Still got a lot of work to do though to stay ahead of the game. We have data and we have the infrastructure and we have the mandate from industry to really crack on with a value chain digital strategy. But we are actually starting now. So making life easier for our producers through improving our access to our integrity systems and also our MLA information. So thank you very much for your participation today.